What are the successful keys to having a successful work life? Well, this week we're going to talk about the 5 secrets to know how to be successful in your work life calling. Stay tuned. How do I bring my faith to work? How do I tap into the power of God in my work life call? Why am I going through this adversity? Is God mad at me? I'm Hillman, and I've been helping leaders like you answer these questions and more for over 30 years. That's what this podcast is all about. Let's learn and grow together. Welcome to TGIF, Today God is First. Well, hello everybody. Good to have you today. And thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to be with us. Good to have all of you here, and a special welcome to any of you who are new members. We're so glad to have you be part of our group. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing this as a webinar. So let's go ahead and begin. So I'm going to close that out, and I'm going to close me out so you don't need to see me. So we're going to talk today about how to start and succeed in your work-life call, understanding the kingdom DNA of achievement. The first thing we need to understand is we've got to understand our own vision. We need to write it down, and Habakkuk tells us in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. It's so important that we write down our vision and what God places in our heart to achieve. Have you written a marketing plan for whatever it is God's called you to? Does it include the SOS formula, which is situation, the objective, and the strategy? And is it measurable? Do you have measurable goals within each time frame for each item? If it's not measurable, it's really not much of a goal. So you want to have a measurable outcome that when you think about something God's calling you to do, whether it be a business or an activity or an event, whatever it might be, write it down and include the SOS, situation, objective, and strategy. Visions make leaders passionate, but thorns keep them authentic. So you need to understand that whenever God gives a vision, often there's a death of it before the vision actually materializes. You know, we see that so often in Scripture where God gives somebody a vision, but then there's hardship, there's difficulty in fulfilling that vision. But God often raises it up in a different way. Number 2 is that we need to have integrity in our lives. Warren Buffett once said, in looking for people to hire you, look for the 3 qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. If they don't have the first, the other 2 will kill you. That's pretty good wisdom from Warren Buffett. Are you a person of integrity? Do you pay your bills on time? Do you speak truthfully? Are you living a moral life? Behold, you desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part you will make me to know wisdom. Psalm 51:7. That's David after he has sinned with Bathsheba, and he realizes that he was not truthful in the inward parts in his own life. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Integrity, the choice between what's convenient and what's right, said Tony Dungy in his book Uncommon. So Psalm 15 is what I call the marketplace psalm. It really is a psalm that you should be reading regularly if you're in the marketplace. Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle, who may dwell in your holy hill? He who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart. He who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but he honors those who fear the Lord. He who swears to his own hurt and does not change, he who does not put out his money at usury, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be moved. That's a psalm worth memorizing. So, number 3 is what's in your hand? What is it God has given you, whether it be a talent, a resource, a relationship? This is something that Elijah asked the widow when she was on her last meal. He said, what's in your hand that you can multiply for provision in your own life? Perhaps it's a skill you've not used. Perhaps it's a relationship you've never tapped into. Or maybe it's a new business idea that you've been sitting on for a long time, and because of COVID, it gives you an opportunity to pursue it. So God had something in mind for you to do before the foundation of the world. You were created to do good works on the earth. You were created to solve problems, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. For the earnest expectation of the creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God. Romans 9:19. You see, God is waiting for you and I to fulfill our purpose and our destiny, to manifest what it is that he has called us to do, and he wants to support us in that. So, what has God given you? Does it solve a problem? Jesus solved problems in the life of people. Every product or service must solve a problem. I'm sure we're all familiar with the TV ads, that 1995 magic number, the TV ad. Well, one of the things you'll notice in all of those TV ads is that product solves a basic problem. The better it solves a problem and the larger audience that it would appeal to, the more successful that product will be. So you need to understand, what does your product solve? So Elijah said to her, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil. Then he said, go borrow vessels from everywhere, from all your neighbors, empty vessels. Do not gather just a few. And when you have come in, you shall shut the door behind you and your sons, then pour it into all those vessels and set aside the full ones. Well, what happened, God multiplied the oil, and she never ran out of oil as long as she had enough lamps. And she could have had lamps forever, and the oil would have continued to flow. And so here's a concept of matching the natural with the supernatural in this situation. Henry Ford once said, most people spend more time and energy going around problems than trying to solve them. So he understood he was called to solve the transportation problem, and how well he did that. Number 4 is plant seed. Do you have seed capital? Do you have other type of seed that can be used to grow the vision? In John 12, it says, most assuredly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain. A farmer knows he must put seed into the ground to get a harvest. What seed are you sowing? So you need seed. Does it require money? Does it require time? Does it require relationships you have to sow into? What's your seed? Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. We have to continually be putting seeds in the ground. You are never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. Maybe you're getting older and you are in retirement, that maybe God has still got something he has you to do. Finally, faith. Can you see it happening? Do you have a picture in your mind of what the outcome should look like? What does success look like? God, who gives life to the dead and calls those things which do not exist as though they did. Romans 4:17. That's faith. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. If you have questions or comment, go ahead and put them in the Q&A area, and I'll take those as we finish up today. And so what step of faith is God waiting for you to take? And so as we really conclude this. This is just session one of a 4-part session on the Change Agent Master Mentor Program. And I encourage you to go there and take that if you are interested. That concludes our session for today. If you have accessed this for our podcast, then what you have experienced is being a part of our Change Agent Master Mentor monthly training program, and we'd love to have you a part of that. All you have to do to join is go to camastermentor.com. The cost is only $19 a month, and what you're not able to hear for the rest of this session is all of the Q&A that we had, and we like to keep that private for our members. So we'd love to have you a part of it. So please go to camastermentor.com to join us. God bless you.
Let's face it, we all want to make a difference. We want to live for Christ. We want our work to have meaning deep down. We all want to live a larger story to make a difference in the world. But how do we do this? It doesn't just happen. We must invest in our spiritual and professional life that involves spiritual mentoring and training. But where do we go to get that kind of spiritual mentoring and professional training? Is it at church, a conference, a school? The Change Agent Master Mentor Program is the answer to that question, founded by Hillman. He is a pioneer in marketplace ministry and has had a 40-year advertising and business career, working with clients like American Express, Steinway Pianos, Thomas Nelson Publishers, and a host of other successful companies. He understands the challenge of living for Christ in a pressure-packed business environment. He created the Change Agent Master Mentor Program to help leaders. Us will help you realize your dream of being successful in your career and having an influence on your world. The Change Agent Master Mentor Program is designed for you to realize your larger story, to understand your purpose, to learn and apply your faith life to your work life from us and other proven workspace leaders who are doing it. Our online course and group mentoring will help you become God's change agent, to be a cultural influencer and succeed in your work-life call, and grow in your relationship with God and with other members of the Change Agent Master Mentor Program. Come join us. Let's influence the world together. www.camastermentor.com